What's going on, guys? Josh Pocock here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Cursor, the AI code editor, and we're going to be looking at what all the hype is about with the new Cursor Compose feature, how you can start using it in the most efficient way possible so you can start building your dream projects. Let's dive right into it. All right, guys, so we're going to be going over Cursor, and this tutorial is meant to basically assist you in the best way possible. If you're just getting started, maybe if you don't even know how to code, you do know what Cursor is, but you don't know about the whole Composer feature, or maybe you just don't know about Cursor at all. So I'm going to tell you everything, kind of lay the foundation of what I believe you should know if you're getting into it, and then I'll kind of show you this in action. So I actually made a video, either one or two videos already about Cursor. So you may be wondering, if you've been following the channel, why are you making another one? Well, if you don't know, and if you've been seeing maybe some of the hype right now, it is because of Cursor's new Compose feature. All right, the Composer feature, it's honestly quite revolutionary in terms of the developer experience and the coding workflow. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. So this is Cursor. I'm not going to give a huge, walkthrough of the website, but you can see here kind of knows your code base. Yeah, we're going to dive into all this, but essentially this is definitely recommend checking out the website. They have some testimonials here. It's a fork of VS Code, if you don't know, so it's going to feel familiar to that. And I would definitely also recommend checking out the docs section. And here are some of the features: code generation, multi-line edits, smart rewrites, cursor predictions, and a bunch of other stuff. So and lastly, I'll just say, first off, yeah, there's been a lot of hype on YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever, and a few key ones I just want to highlight. So this is one post I saw by this gentleman, Ricky Robinette, and I believe he's a dev at he's a VP developer at Cloudflare, and this is his 8-year-old building in 45 minutes basically some little app with the assistance of Cursor. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 8 minutes. I'll leave it in the description if you want to check it out. But as you can see here, it's literally just her building out this little Harry Potter chat thing. And I believe it generates images. You can name your chat or something like this. So pretty cool stuff. If she can do it, then of course you can, even if you don't know how to code. I just wanted to preface that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and open up Cursor. So this is what Cursor is, and if you may be like, wow, this looks exactly like VS Code. Like I said, it's a VS Code fork. Mine looks a little bit different than you may have out of box. One, because if you're asking that, because I have a theme, so you can go just like VS Code, you can go over to extensions and download a theme. So funny enough, yeah, I've known about Cursor for a while. I did the video on it a while ago, but now with the new Composer model, it's actually really forced me, or encouraged me to actually start making the switch to Cursor, because before I was using VS Code and I was using tools like Continue Dev, Claude Dev, and I still love those tools, and I'm going to continue using them. Like I even have them here. I'm going to, just so you can guys get the whole experience of Cursor, I'm just going to temporarily minimize my face right now so you can see the whole screen. So up here I do have Continue Dev and Claude Dev here, just in case, but I've been really focusing on Cursor a lot lately, and this is just a project I've been working on. I'm going to do some demonstrations in a test.tsx folder, and you may be wondering, okay, well, first off, when I first installed Cursor, just so you guys know, I personally wasn't seeing the file, edit, selection, view, run, terminal, etc. So that was kind of annoying. I mean, it's just a setting in VS Code, as well as this bar right here. I personally just like the bar on the side here instead of it being on top. You see everyone who's using Cursor with it at top here by default, which is fine. I just like it on the side. So that was kind of one of the main reasons what was stopping me from fully converting. So, but all you can do is simply, you can go to the settings, not the Cursor settings, but the actual settings here. I just want to get right into the tutorial. I just want to quickly preface this. So if you need help with this, I would suggest to ask Perplexity or ChatGPT, but you can go to settings, search for workbench activity bar orientation. And I played around with this, changing it between vertical, horizontal, etc. And then if you find your activity bar up here, you can go down, I believe, to view, and I think it's appearance, and it's either in appearance or in editor layout, one of the two. But yeah, that's how you can kind of change the appearance here. Now let's get right into the juice of what we're going to cover here, and it is how to use Cursor. So I'm going to go over the basic ways to use Cursor AI to start off, which is the ways you may be used to using an AI pair programmer. So of course we have the chat on the right hand side, and there's, I believe, a couple main commands. I think it's, so Control L. Yeah, Control L is going to open up the chat. So you can either hit Control L, or you can just go like this right here. So toggle the plane right here. And then you're going to be able to see your chat. Okay, this is kind of like where you can talk and use like a chat interface. You could maybe brainstorm here and whatnot. You can add context files. So I could add any one of my context files, like for example, test. And then the AI will have context around this file, of course. And then there's a review tab right here. I haven't done too much experimenting with this yet, so I'll keep you guys posted as I continue learning more and, you know, working with Cursor. But this looks pretty cool in terms of like custom review instructions, review working state, review diff and main branch, focus on performance of my code, look for any logical inconsistencies, why is memory leaking, etc. So this will probably be good for like reviewing bugs and whatnot. But here you can select the different model of your choice. You can add your models too. So if you go over to the Cursor settings here, you go down to models. You can see all your models. You could add models down here, and you can enter in your OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google API key, as well as Azure. And I'm just going to close this out. Now, also one last thing too, I'll say is you do want to make an account on Cursor. I think they actually make you do that beforehand, but just if you didn't know, create an account. As well as one more thing for pricing, there is a free plan. So you get this right here, but I currently just signed up for the paid plan. I don't know if you 100% need the, I'm pretty sure you need the pro plan to use the Cursor Compose feature to its fullest. That's what I'll say, because I think you can go Control I, or what is it? Let me just exit this. So if you hit Control I, you're going to see the composer down here. Now, I believe to actually be able to go like this, open the plane. So you have the big composer and where you can type and talk to it and submit. I believe you need the pro plan. At least that's why I upgraded, because it wasn't letting me without it. Then it was. So just want to preference that you may need the $20 a month pro plan. Even if you don't have the $20 a month pro plan though, and you just want to use this for free, you can use a lot of the features. You can use pretty much all the other features with your own API keys. And I will mention at this time too, I did do a video yesterday talking about ZDev or ZAI. It's a completely open source code editor. Some people like it a lot. It's very fast, lightweight, and it's 100% free. You can use their own Claude Sonnet, or you can bring your own API keys. And then some people say they didn't like it, so it's a mix of both. I like it, but in terms of like what I think I'll get the most AI quality output from, it'd probably be Cursor Composer, just because I think this feature is really it's very innovative, right? I think this is just a stepping stone. Like the next, it's gonna like obviously AI coding is gonna get even crazier and crazier, but this is something that's making it a lot easier, like I said, for the dev experience right now, and you'll see why in just a second. But yeah, so I just want to go over the basics first for those of you who aren't familiar with Cursor, and then I'm going to get into the Compose features. So if you already are familiar with some of this, maybe you want to skip a couple minutes ahead, just because I'm going to be going over the basics right now in terms of doing inline code generation, auto completion, as well as a chat feature, and then I'm going to cover the Compose feature in depth as well. So yeah, anyway, so context, chat here, you can add your models, you can switch models here. So I can go ahead and say, hi, how's it going? Okay, and I'm going to be chatting with GPT-4o right now just because I have that selected. Typically, I always like using Claude Sonnet just because it's the best at coding. 3.5, of course. Let's just say, please generate me some Next.js code for a home page for my nice and intuitive with ShadCN UI. Okay, so I'm not actually going to go ahead and run this right now, but I'm just using this as just testing purposes to kind of show you. It's going to generate, like I said, I usually would use Claude Sonnet just because you're going to get a better output. But once you get the chat right here, or the code, you can either ask it questions about it, or you can apply right now. So I can go ahead and click apply and apply this to my current file. As you can see, it's basically kind of look, yeah, so you can either hit Control Shift Y or select the yes or the green button here, or the Control N and hit and basically say no, I don't want those changes. So we're gonna hit Control Y, and as you can see, it's actually pretty good. Even this is GPT-4o. So button, card, container, typography, we're importing from ShadCN UI, and then head from from Next head, and then we're exporting home, and then coach marketing solutions, etc, etc. So not too bad. Obviously we would want to run this code, iterate on it, improve upon it. I'm just showing you the basics of how to actually use the code. Now once we have this, we could either talk and improve upon it in here, or we could basically like do like I could highlight like this, for example, and I could either add to chat like this, so it's now in the chat, or if I hit Control K, now I can start talking in the inline chat right here. I can either use like whatever model I want, and then boom, you're good to go. So let me just delete this and go like this, and as you can see, as I'm typing in the link again, I'm getting an autocomplete right here. So that's another thing. All you do is click tab and then tab, and there, boom, now I have that code right there. So this is just showing you on a small, simple scale, but autocomplete feature is there, and it's pretty useful as well when you're actually writing code. Okay, that's some of the basics with the AI features. Now I want to get into the meat and potatoes, which is the composer. All right, so the composer is really what pushed me over to actually really start using Cursor, just because I really like how it works. So we go Control I here. You can see the little composer down here. So I'll go over the main things. So there's more options here. You can show history, reset position. Here you can start a new composer chat. Here you can reset composer, which will reset all the work you've been doing in that composer. So like undo it. Close composer. You can add context here as well. And what I always like to do is open the panel to make it bigger. Now, down here in the left, you can see a create new. This is going to give you two options. You can create a new project or a single composer. So if I created a new project here, I could say like back end setup. I could go create, and I could start adding like new single composer. Let's go here. So I could basically in the project, this is something I'm going to be you know, doing more, like I'm going to be improving my workflow around this, and I'll keep you guys updated. So make sure to subscribe, stay tuned if you want to see more up to date as I'm learning more strategies within Cursor. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But in the backend section, you can kind of set your you can kind of set like a system type prompt right here. So you could type in like, let's just say like your project kind of standards, like how you want to do things, like whether it's like, say if I'm setting up my backend, you know, maybe I'm using Supabase, Drizzle, ORM, you know, whatever tech stack you're using, whatever workflows you typically go about. Like let's say if I wanted to say, here's like my auth procedures, etc., right? So you can maybe put some sort of kind of overarching SOP or standard operating procedure for your workflows in here. You can also create focus files. So if I wanted to say, hey, for this specific part, let's say I'm doing auth, right, in my app, I'm obviously going to maybe want to reference and have the focus files right here of all my different auth files that I would be working on. And then you can see as well here the different, if I go back here, the different composers within this project, and you can just click new composer to create one. And then I'm going to show you just talking with a composer in just a second. And yeah, so that's really cool. You can kind of organize your projects in this manner, and then you can have different composers within them. Now I'm going to show you talking to the composer in just a second, but one other thing I want to mention too, this is a little trick I mean, it's this is something I actually got from this guy on Twitter. He basically just I saw him tweet about using prompt folders, so this is something I'm going to be using more of. But essentially, he basically just creates a prompt folder like so, and then within the prompt folder you have markdown of different things, whether that's your tech stacks docs, whether that is you know, like your standard, kind of like your standard operating procedures or your prompts, and you'll just put that in markdown. So like, for example, new file, auth procedure, right? .md, boom. And then I could just start typing like my how I want to go about it. Like, okay, I'm going to be using clerk, or I'm going to be using next auth, or I'm going to be using Supabase, whatever the case is. You can get the info, a lot of it from the docs, of the official docs. And then when you're actually, so let me just delete this. And then when you're in something like Composer, you could actually, whether you're in Composer or potentially even Focus files, you could reference that specific thing, right? And also too, guys, I mean, this is important because when you're talking to AI, like I even do this in Claude Sonnet within my projects, you're referencing new updated docs, because docs change, right? Certain things can be depreciated, certain package files, certain ways of doing things. Like when I'm working with Supabase, they no longer recommend the helpers for auth and all that stuff. But Claude Sonnet and a lot of the AI models were trained on those old docs. Same thing with like Next app router. You always got to specify, hey, I'm using an app router, not page router, because a lot of the models were trained on the old docs. So having a centralized system of like new updated docs and then being able to communicate that to the model in a most efficient way, that's really what coding with AI comes down to. And then also knowing the basics and knowing a little, like educating yourself about how coding actually does work, so you can kind of be the conductor, be the manager of the AI model. That's kind of how I view things. And yeah, so guys, this isn't like a video where I'm going to show you how to build a full end-to-end you know, back-end, front-end app. If you want me to show you, like do a video where I actually like, you know, build something cool or build a little something, walk you through using Cursor, let me know in the comments down below. I just want to get you guys up to date with, if you're new, like I said at the start, if you're new to Cursor, what you're missing out on, or what's all this hype about, or what's the new compose feature. Because even me, like when I started seeing the hype, I'm like, okay, well, I already covered Cursor. What's so good about the compose feature? Now let's go ahead and just quickly test out the compose feature. So let's just say, so I'm in compose right here. Okay, so right, so actually, no, so it's actually good at even refactoring or improving upon code. So please, let's just link this file as context right here. So test, and please analyze my code and suggest multiple improvements to make it more efficient and a lot more modern. Okay, I'll analyze your improvements to make it more efficient. Here are several suggestions. Okay, so of course it's going to say use app router, use a page.txs, because I'm using test.txs, which won't even render. Create a separate component for the main content. So it's saying create a home page, use Tailwind CSS for styling, of course, create custom UI components such as button, use TypeScript more efficiently, implement responsive design, optimize performance. If I went ahead and clicked on select or accept all, it would actually go ahead and start doing this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now just because I'm actually in a project and I don't want it to mess it around. But yeah, and then you can iterate upon this, like, and also too, you can click on /, you can see reset, reference open editors, and if you also hit @ you can target different files, folders, code, web, docs, git, or code base. So pretty cool stuff. The main thing that's different really about Cursor right now is this compose feature. And even within this video, like I'm trying to explain it in a simple way as possible. Once you actually start using it, you'll kind of see the power behind it in truth. So I would suggest to start using it. Take these basics that I showed in this video and start building something cool. And let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you want me to do a deep dive video through how to actually build. Okay, also one other tip I want to give you guys is when you're, so let's say I'm creating a project from scratch, what I would maybe do, this is just an example. Let me just pull up this one, and I would maybe type out something like, hey, I want to create I would create an in-depth prompt, like I want to create a project. I would really explain what functions I want it to do, what tech stack I think I may want to use, etc., etc. And then within the chat side of things, you may get like an action plan. Okay, I need to do this. I need to set up auth. I need to connect my database. I need to do etc., etc., like a 10-step plan, whatever the case may be. And then you can use each step and you can kind of chunk that into pinpointed action plan with the compose feature. So then if I go to compose, control shift I, then I could start, okay, plugging in step one. Okay, step one, I need to set up the front end. I need to connect to kind of get the UI set up. And then I could just ask Composer, hey, this is what I need to do for this, for step one. Please do that. And it's going to give you all the code, and you're just going to have to click accept. And then it's going to set up the file structure, create those files. You're going to want to run dev, test it out. There may be a couple bugs, etc. So you're going to have to change that. Then go into step 2, step 3, step 4, etc. and kind of do it that way. You don't want to give it too much at once, because it could start messing up. And you know, it's really all about how you prompt it and interact with it and all that good stuff. That's really what I really want to stress to you guys. I see a lot of people struggle with talking to AI or doing coding with AI just because they're actually not prompting it good enough. All right, just to be quite honest. So yeah, I can't read your mind. You really got to detail things, and that's what I would stress to you guys. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value from it. I know it's more of like a you know, theory type video and going over exactly kind of some theory about how to actually use Cursor Composer, which I think is important if you're new to Cursor Composer, or even if you are using Cursor Composer. Hopefully you did get something out of this video. Like I said though, if you want me to actually build something, and I didn't want to just like build a snake game or build a calendar, like we've seen that a million times. So if you actually want me to try to build something somewhat cool or whatever, some sort of interface for you guys, let me know in the comments down below. But if you're new here, we do videos on AI, automation, business growth, bunch of different stuff every single day. So if you like this type of content, and you got some value here, definitely appreciate smashing that subscribe button, smashing that like button. And then also too, guys, if you haven't joined our free community, Stride community, our free Facebook group, free Discord channel, link for that will be in the description down below, guys. Other than that, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below in terms of Cursor, maybe even Zed. If you have any other favorite AI pair programmer, whether that's Claude, Continue Dev, whatever. Have you tried Cursor yet? Do you like the Composer feature? Other than that, guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.